Welcome to the Driving for Dollars podcast, the place to be for house flipping tips, tricks, and advice that's raw and unfiltered, but works. Learn to generate more leads and deals through our marketing expertise. Now, let's get into the show. What's up, everybody out there in Driving for Dollars land? Hey, this is the Driving for Dollars podcast, and as always, I'm your host, Tucker Merrihew. I know it's been a while. I apologize for that, but we had to get some stuff that we need to get taken care of for the app, and so I wanted to do a show here to give you guys an update on all of the enhancements that we have completed as we continue to rapidly grow. So a big thanks out there to all of you guys who are using the app. We've had a lot of conversations with many of you, and we look forward to having many more that are using it to grow your real estate investing business and build custom lists that you can market to in a variety of different ways. We also did a podcast on the Real Deals podcast a while back with a company called Roar, R-O-O-R, where we actually take the information that we get from the app via the phone numbers, and then we do ringless voicemails, text blasting to them and such. So make sure you go check out that episode on the Real Deals podcast if you want to take this data that you get via using the Driving for Dollars app and take it to the next level. There's a promo page that we have set up so that you can get a super smoking deal on using their service. We use it every day, and it's the best pricing that you're going to find, and really it's just the best overall service that we've found, and that's why we use it every day in order to drop ringless voicemails and text blasts. But this week's show, I want to give you guys a quick update. Number one, we are now a subscription-based app, which means for $19.99 a month, you can pull as much data as you want. So previously, you had to buy the data in an amount that you thought you'd use, and the lowest price plan was $19.99. Well, now for that, basically the lowest price plan, you can pull unlimited data every single month, which means you can build as big a list as you want, as many as you want, and you get all kinds of different information, as I've talked about in the podcast many times over, in order to market to people and try and get them to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in selling, so that you can say, I'm interested in buying. So we are subscription based, so go subscribe whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone, both of which have the subscription model now available and ready for you guys to use. So it's a smoking deal. If you break it down on cost per lead, for those of you guys that are using it on a regular basis, it's an unbelievable deal, especially considering what we've shelled out to build this thing over the years and maintain it, that's for sure. But we also have some really cool announcements that I wanted to make in terms of enhancements we are working on right now that will soon be rolled out. We've been listening to those of you that are using the app, and we want to continue to improve it and make it better and easier to use. And so here's just a few of the things that we have kind of cooking that will soon be rolled out and you guys can use when you're using the app. The number one is going to be the tracking mapping feature. So basically, as you're driving around, it will show you all the streets that you've driven. There's a few apps out there that actually do it. We're integrating that technology with our app, so it'll show you so you can see all of the streets that you've actually driven already. We currently do this by basically looking to see where we've dropped pins, and so we kind of use that as a guideline in terms of which streets we've been on or not been on, but this will make it much more obvious. And so basically the tracking map feature shows wherever you've driven, highlights the road, and that way you don't have to guess as to whether or not you've driven down the road before. It'll actually tell you, and you can look it up after you close out your list again as well, so you don't drive the same area twice. So that's a big thing that a lot of you guys wanted to have as an enhancement, and so we are making that happen. With that, we're also going to improve the map orientation. So basically, right now it's facing one direction, but it'll face the direction that you're driving, so it'll just feel a little more natural. So we're going to be putting that enhancement in place as well, which I think will make it just more usable. It still accomplishes the same thing now, but it's just a little easier for you as the customer and the user to use. So that's a couple of very, I guess we'll just call them little icing on the cake, we'll call it, right? Now, the other big thing that we're doing is we're creating an autosave feature. So right now, when you create your list, before you exit the app, you need to save your lists. And it seems like a very insignificant thing in order for that to save automatically. It's not. We have to build a big back-end server to essentially store your data that has yet to be run. Think about it like writing some sort of a document in Microsoft Word, and your computer loses power and it doesn't autosave, right? And so basically we have to create this big back-end system that will autosave your data before you run it, which means it autosaves the pins that you dropped and the lists that you've created. So we're creating this autosave feature, which is a big build out on our back end, but it's also something we're going to be rolling out. And that way, if for any reason you guys exit the app prematurely without saving, it will autosave for you. So we're working on that right now as well. So some really cool stuff. And then also we're going to be changing the way that you can export large lists above 1,000. Right now there's a hack and a way around to do it, but we're going to be able to change that so you can export lists of over 1,000 in one clean swoop and not have to break it up into multiple smaller lists, which ultimately then you can combine Excel anyway. It's not a big deal. But again, these are just kind of ease of use things that we're doing in addition to some big stuff that just makes the app better overall and will improve the user experience. So a lot of really cool stuff coming down the pipe. Our user base has grown substantially, so now it makes sense for us to do these enhancements and shell out the money, which it is costly to do, and to continue building this app and making it the absolute best on the market and ultimately the best value for you, the user, because that's ultimately what we're trying to accomplish. And we use it every single day in our own business, or at least every single week in our own business for sure, in order to continue to build out specialty lists in different areas and different pockets within our market that we market to. And that's really how we built our entire business, and that's how we're going to continue to, and we're going to continue to improve this app so that it becomes even easier and easier to use as time goes on. So if you have not already, make sure you go subscribe to the app. It's in the iTunes store and it's in the Google Play Store. It's called the Driving for Dollars app. It's a blue logo. If there's any other apps called the Driving for Dollars app in those stores, there will soon not be, because they will be infringing upon our trademark. So we are the only ones called the Driving for Dollars app. So blue logo, the Driving for Dollars app. Go download it today, $19.99 a month, and you can pull as much data and build as big a list as you want. And like I said, we've got a lot of enhancements coming down the pipe as well, so I know you guys are definitely going to dig it. So I will see you guys on the next show, but make sure you go download the app and put it to work in your business so you can make more money. See you on the next one.